So the next service we're going to deploy is called Argilla. And Argilla is a service to build better data sets with AI. I'm not too familiar with it, once again. I did try making this video the first time and I got stuck, and so this is the second attempt after figuring out the kinks of how to host it. So I'm going to show you that now, and then if you're already familiar with AI development, then you can take the reins once you've hosted it and use Argilla just how you intended to. So the first thing we're going to do is once again add a project. We're going to call it Argilla, and then select your production environment, add a new resource, Argilla, and we're going to select our server, which in this case is self-host everything. And so a couple of things. First thing, once again, we're going to change the service name right there and here as well. Once that's saved, yes, we have a couple of services. We've got the main one, Worker, Elasticsearch, Postgres, and Redis. And we've got some key information here, the username and password, which we are going to need once we deploy. So let's deploy this. So now it looks like it's deployed, but it's not fully ready yet. You're going to have to wait for everything to be healthy. So we can close this, and you can see here, some of them are running, but not healthy yet. So you got to wait for everything to be saying running and healthy before you can actually access the URL. So we're going to wait for that first. So now that that is done, everything's healthy, we can open up the service. And you see here it asks for username and password, but no registration, which is fine because you'll find them here. So copy your username and password from there, then you can sign in. And so now it shows you some code on how to set up your server, well, the connection to your server. And so this is where we're actually going to go into code. So first thing you're going to do is either open up VS Code or whichever a code editor you use. I'm using Cursor here, so you can create, a start script somewhere in a folder. I called my folder Argilla. So once you've got that done, then you are going to need to follow these instructions. So instead of using pip here, we're going to be using pip3, which is Python 3. Now, I am a Python noob. I'm by no means a Python engineer. I'm more of a JavaScript developer. But let's just say that using Python 2 is deprecated anyways. So it's better to be using the newest version. So we're going to be using pip3 and therefore Python 3. And a neat feature of this is virtual environments. So this allows us to kind of do the same thing that we do with node modules and in the JavaScript world, where we install our packages only for that particular directory. In this case, it's an actual, virtual environment. So we're going to be doing the following command, something like this, venth, and then we need to call our venth something. So in my case, I'm going to call it Argilla venth. And so when we run this, a folder gets created, and this is our virtual environment where we can install our package. But before we do that, we need to actually activate the virtual environment. Kind of like, when we run Python 3, we're going to be running Python 3 code immediately. But in this case, we need to go into a different shell. So we're going to run Python 3. We're going to be running source, and then Argilla venth bin activate, which is the script that you see here. And now you can see that the location has kind of changed. It's no longer saying Argilla, it's Argilla venth. We should be able to run our installation command. So let's run that now. We're going to do Python 3 pip install Argilla. Or actually, sorry, not Python 3, but pip3 Let's see if that works. So it seems like it has been installed. And so now we can then copy the code that you see here on step number 2. It'll already include your server's API key and URL, so you don't have to actually look for it. And same thing here, we're going to copy the settings, and we are going to copy the last part, the records. So if this was a legit project, you would obviously be, changing this data here. The first thing we're going to want to do is change the workspace. So the workspace is you need to configure one. We don't have one actually. So if you go into your settings, you'll see that there is no workspace here, and you need one in order to to load your records, or your data set rather. So we're going to do that. We're going to create our workspace. We're going to call it what are we going to call it? We're going to call it main for now. And then we're going to head over to documentation, and we're going to copy this code here, which is the workspace create and created workspace line, and we're going to put it right here. So what this is going to do is, and we update that to main, is it's going to create the actual workspace, and then we can use it later to push our data set to. So now, theoretically, if we run for Python 3 start.py, it should update or push those records and data of our data set into, or push our first data set to Argilla, to our Argilla server, not another one. So let's run Python 3 start.py, and there you go. And as you can see, the UI automatically updates. And if we click into my first data set, we can see it here. And so again, this is this next step is better fitted for people who actually know how to use Argilla. But just know that everything that we've set up was correctly pushed, and now you can mess with Argilla and I guess play with your data set or refine it. And so that's going to be it for this video. And that's how you host Argilla using Coolify. See you in the next one.